Welcome to Backstage with Geoffrey Morrissey. I am your host, Geoffrey Morrissey. I am joined by Chris from Field Report. He might be the hardest working man at Boston Calling. Chris, how are you today?
Working hard, Jeffrey. How are you, man?
You know what? Same. I'll give myself that credit. So you've been here pretty much all weekend. What have been some highlights for you, other than your own set, of course, or people that you're looking forward to?
Man, St. Vincent's set yesterday
Holy
was
shit.
unbelievable.
Yes, it was.
It was incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't even know how to talk about what that was. It
Yeah.
was like beyond even talking about.
No.
Which is not great for radio, I suppose. But
It's not, but her show in general is not great for radio because it's so visually based. So were you up in the artist little area? For
no,
that?
I was
you
down
were
in
the
front.
crowd.
I wanted the full experience.
I was like 3 rows back. Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to see all the screens and all the visuals, and dude, it was like her whole show is just so considered and presented so beautifully.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was, I was up close, and then people start going, "Oh my goodness, this is so weird." I'm like, well, "You're 3 rows back from St. Vincent. What did you expect? Like,
Yeah,
you were
right.
obviously camped out for an hour. Like, I don't quite get it." She's playing Newport Folk. I can't wait to see how that set translates. There,
Oh
'cause you
yeah,
can't do
that'll
that
be
there.
exactly. Yeah, that'll be wild. That'll be fun to see, sort of close together how she handles it.
Of course. You've done a ton of interviews this festival, which as a journalist I'm appreciative of. What do you wish that you got to talk about more often over the course of the weekend? What do you wish you would be asked about more often in these?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I feel like, we've been covering the basic stuff. We've got a record that came out in March. We've been talking about that. I've been talking about Boston a lot because here we are in Boston.
Yes.
So that's cool. I don't know, man. I'm just down to clown, whatever you want to talk about.
Good. I just want to make sure we don't cover the same grounds or the ask and answer thing. You're no stranger to these festivals. You do a ton of them, but Aaron Dessner has 2 big festivals. He has Boston Calling, and then he's very involved in Eaux Claire.
Uh-huh.
I haven't had the pleasure of being at Eaux Claire. I've been to Boston Calling, but as someone who does a lot of festivals, what is something that makes Boston Calling, Eaux Claire, those Aaron festivals kind of unique?
Boy, you can really tell kind of from the moment you step on the grounds how considered things are. Like the staff, everybody knows what they're doing and where people need to go. The artists are taken care of. The lineups are really well curated.
Mhm.
There's a little something for everybody. There's always some outlier acts too that you're surprised by, things you don't know and discover. It's really, really great.
Nice. I definitely want to head out to Eau Claire.
You
that
should
neck
come
of the
out
woods.
sometime. I know this year they're not announcing the lineup at all.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of wild. It's just they've built up such a trust with the audience that they're just like, okay, it's happening again. Show up. We're not going to tell you who's here.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is awesome. Well, that's kind of how the John Prine thing went too, right?
Yeah.
That tribute, which I can only imagine what that must have been like as well.
That was wild. Yeah, as part of the Eau Claire thing last year, they did a tribute to John Prine, and I got to be a part of that. And we were rehearsing at Justin Vernon's barn just outside of Eau Claire, and we were running my song that I was doing with the band, and all of a sudden the energy sort of shifted in the room, and just kind of, could kind of feel it. We were in the middle of the song, and then Prine saunters right by me and sits down from me to you, and just kind of like sort of appraising how well I knew the lyrics, kind of thing. It was really cool. He dug the arrangement. It was a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Seriously, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Another thing that I'm assuming is a beautiful thing I want to ask you about were the Bon Iver for Emma Forever Ago 10-year shows.
Yeah.
Which that was something that I wish that I could have gotten out to as well. So tell me a little bit about that, sort of the energy around that, because that's been one of my favorite records for not forever, but 10 years now.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing that that's 10 years old already. Yeah, that was a really important record for a lot of people. And so they wanted to honor that fact and celebrate the anniversary. And so they had, it was a big arena show in Milwaukee. It was at the Bradley Center where the Milwaukee Bucks play basketball.
Wow.
Yeah, and so people flew in from all over the world, and it was a one-night only thing. And the lineup for that show, it was my band, Field Report, and another Milwaukee band called Collections of Colonies of Bees and Bon Iver. And that lineup came to be because that was the lineup that played 10 years ago in a tiny little rock club for about 30 people before that record came out.
Wow, there you go, and the band's back together. So I feel bad. I want to talk more about your music. You have an absolutely amazing album out right now, Summertime Sounds with Field Report. I know this was a sonic shift for you, that this was sort of a little bit different from the other albums that you had released. So when you were experimenting with this new sort of poppier genre, poppier sound, how are you able to do that and then stay true to yourself and stay true to your artistic style? Because I know that you're very much a songs first kind of person.
Yeah, and it still is a songs first project, but we really wanted to expand even our perception of what the rules were around what we could do. And we spent we just had a lot more time in the studio this time around. We spent, most days of about 6 months in the studio just kind of building sonic environments and responding to the work of the day before and just building things out. We wanted to make sort of like almost a Peter Gabriel version of the Midwestern folk singer.
There you go, the Peter Gabriel version of the Midwestern folk singer. I like that a lot. Was there anything that surprised you in the process of making this record that sort of took you back as you were dealing with this new stuff?
It was kind of built to encourage surprises. There was a lot of discovery. There wasn't so much intent like, oh, I want to make this sound or whatever. It was kind of just seeing what would happen, and anything that we would find exciting would just be an exciting surprise, and we would build on that excitement, and the record is where we landed with all that.
And one of the things I love the most about it is, again, another thing that's great for radio, the album art to it. It's just such a cool color scheme. Tell me a little bit about how that came about.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome. That was shot by some photographer friends of ours in Milwaukee. They have a group called Flash Nights, and what they do is they find old decrepit buildings or cars or whatever and just kind of break into them and set up colored lighting inside and then just snap it with film. So none of that was like photoshopped. It was like all actually lit that way, and like that was the shot.
Shit, that's very cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So Summertime Songs, again, great name for a record. What is the ultimate summertime song for you? I guess other than the collection that you put forth.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Any Tom Petty song, I think, is kind of the archetype.
Oh yeah, all right. I will agree with you there. And then another question, I've been having a lot of fun with this festival taking place Memorial Day weekend. What is either your favorite or your first memory of music?
My first memory of music? Oh, man. Probably singing, like, Oak Ridge Boys tapes with my dad in the car.
Nice.
Like Elvira. Elvira, my heart's on fire. I haven't listened to the Oak Ridge Boys for a while. I'll have to go back and check them out and see how they hold up.
Well, you gave me a perfect segue there. This will be my last question for you. Who are you listening to right now? Who's been spinning in the band?
Man, right now, dude, we were just talking about Julian Baker.
Right?
I love her music so much.
Yeah.
It just there's something so resonant about it. My soul responds to her work so much, and the environment she creates with the guitar, and yeah, man, let's just go with her.
Yeah, no, and so humble and amazing too. I bumped into her on one of the golf carts, and I'd known her for a little bit of time now. I was with a friend that had it, and she just goes, "Oh, hi, I'm Julie," and then he looks at me and goes, "It was just like I met my old high school classmate." Like, she's so down to earth, she's so wonderful. I can never say enough good things about her. I can also never say enough good things about Field Report. Summertime Songs is the album right now. If you're not listening to it, damn it, you should be. Chris from that band has joined me today. Chris, thank you so much.
My pleasure, thank you.